31 win over Carolina in a game in which they were up 20 points, I think, well into the second half. So big comeback for the Panthers, but not quite enough as the Saints knocked out. I don't know what's up with the New Orleans Saints. A couple of weeks ago, I thought for sure, best team in the NFL. They get beat by the Falcons. They're okay in a couple games. Now they're back home, and the Panthers almost take them down.
They need Teddy Bridgewater back.
Bench Drew Brees.
That's what people are going to be calling for, right?
We'll take him here.
Bottom of the hour is brought to you by Northwestern Basketball. Join Northwestern Basketball at the new Welsh Ryan Arena this season. Home opponents include Michigan State, Michigan, and Purdue. Season and single-game tickets to see Chicago's Big Ten team are on sale now at nusports.com. Next up, it is Glenn in Rolling Meadows. Glenn, how you doing?
Good. Say, Bears were lucky to win this game today. I'm looking at the stats here. Mitchell Trubisky was 25 for 41, 2 interceptions. They threw 2 interceptions. New York missed 2 field goals, and the Bears scored the 1 touchdown because of the fumble on the 5-yard line. So they were extremely lucky to win this game today. Mitch Trubisky came up with a 69 quarterback rating. He had a lesser quarterback rating than Daniel Jones, who had an 86.6.
Well,
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what they're going to do for next year. The remaining games this year, they're going to have to figure something out. I hope they win next week in Detroit. It's going to be a real tough fight for them, because if they can't beat New York here in Chicago, I don't know how they're going to beat Detroit in Detroit.
Well, Glenn, a couple things, and I understand your frustration. I disagree with your premise. I don't think they were lucky. The Giants were bad, too. I mean, you're suggesting that the Giants deserved to win the football game, and they didn't.
Yeah.
The Bears were, I guess you'd say, less bad.
Yeah, the better of the bad.
Yeah, than the New York Giants. So, I mean, same point. I'm not trying to argue with you. And as far as lines, nobody was predicting anything. I mentioned at the top that, the Lions, I think they got beat. I don't know if that's final yet, so they're in worse trouble than the Bears. But yes, Adam is saying that one is final now too. The Redskins beat the Detroit Lions 19-16 on a late field goal by Dustin Hopkins. It's very confusing. They got Dwayne Haskins at quarterback and Dustin Hopkins kicking the football. But Dwayne Haskins gets his first NFL win in that one. So we'll get you updated on all the scores in a minute. I get Dave's point, guys, and we knew this was going to be the case. You can't help but not be frustrated when we realize how good this football team was last year. And they weren't great on offense. They were good enough some of the time, but they were so dominant on defense. And at the end of the day, you're talking about a 12-4 football team that has days like today where they can barely beat one of the worst teams in the NFL. Their last 2 victories are against 2 of the 5 or 6 worst teams in the NFL.
I mean, what are we sitting here talking about today if the long snapper from New York doesn't roll two long snaps back?
Yeah.
I mean, you might. I know there are a lot of what ifs.
Yeah, it's early in the game.
Yeah, right.
A lot of things can go different other than that. Yeah,
right. But you just.
But does that change Matt Nagy and his play calling? That if they have a lead or it's a closer game, does he try to get more aggressive and give the ball to Mitch more and get himself into more trouble and open up the passing game like he's done sometimes? Does that change the outcome of the game? Sure. But one thing I found interesting, because we talked about it in pregame hub, was that James Betcher, the defensive coordinator, is very aggressive on third down. Mm-hmm. He normally dials up some exotic blitzes, tries to put pressure on the quarterback by bringing pressure. Well, this game, on third down, he just rushed 4. Yeah. And he's following the game plan that everybody else is saying. Right. Mitch is going to play quarterback, and he just got to beat us by throwing the ball with no pressure, with just enough back there to cover for everybody, and he gave him 2 picks.
Well, but in fairness, he did beat him today. He made the big throws to Robinson and Miller.
Did, yes.
That was the difference in the game. I'm not saying he had a great game.
I'm just finding it interesting that coaches now coaches are now scheming that way. They're saying, okay, this week while they're planning for the game, they feel this is the best way.
And it's funny because he really did not have the personnel to play that style of defense. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But they still felt as though in the